Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the English coverage of the LPL here on Twitch TV. Of course, brought to you in part by our friends at Gosu Gamers and Games in Asia. Look at the score line just up there on your screen, 19-9, the final score. And the biggest thing to look at is the assists, 60-19. Almost triple the number of assists there for EDG. And of course, the MVP for EDG is Name, who finishes the game with an 8-1-7 scoreline. It's KDA just going off the charts there. And speaking of going off the charts, EDG now moving up the charts. If they win game number 2 here, they'll actually take away first place from OMG.
Alright, sorry if I'm interrupting, but you are muted on Skype Rapid, so yep. I'm kind of cut off.
And there we go. So everything should be good to go. Just pointing out the storylines for the as far as standings are concerned. When you look at tonight, we came in to tonight with OMG in first place. Then World Elite took first place, and now with a win here in game number 2, EDG could actually take first place as well. So while we had like a 4-way tie and OMG have been leading for the majority of this season, this split of LPL, we actually could see first place change 3 times in just one night.
Yeah, actually we are literally halfway through the split right now. This is the week where the rematches start, so the standings still not really looking how they will look at the very ending of the split. So there's everything changing around, swapping around, so that's really good to see because it's good for the teams. We have a lot of teams that are really talented right here. It's not just about OMG sitting in the first place for the whole time of the split. Right now we have World Lead and EDG joining them.
And well, we're gonna have a game cut out for us here. Game number 2 is Edward Gaming. I feel like they won last game in almost just in picks and bans. You can see the Chinese commentators consoling one another about their predictions, so it can no longer be a 2-0 for OMG. We'll see if we can keep the 1-1 dream alive and split things evenly. OMG, they're still an incredibly strong team. You saw they fought incredibly hard for the first like 15 minutes of the game, but there was one dragon fight where just too many picks happened, and at the end there, Name just went off as soon as he got fed.
We'll see, and it depends on who wants it to be a 1-1 for it to be the dream. For me, it's 2-0 EDG the dream. I definitely do want to see them coming out on top right here. OMG have been ruling for so long. Well, they should give it away to someone else already.
It's true. They've had plenty of time in that first place spot. Let's see if EDG can take it from them. World Elite, keep in mind, have already taken first place from OMG. So if they win this game, they can actually get back up there and make sure that they are still at the top of the standings. But you do have to make sure to keep in mind EDG, just in overall team records across all tournaments, they've been crushing OMG, and especially with a full roster for EDG versus the sub in the bottom lane, having kind of a rough game there for Neymar last game. So still expecting EDG to come into game number 2 very, very strong. But it's got to start in picks and bans if OMG are going to make a comeback.
Also, not a lot of hooks hitting for 777 right now. So, well, that is the thing that he should work a little bit on. But maybe just go for a different support. However, there is the Leona ban straight away. So, no, that's not going to happen.
All right, so first ban. EDG know how to ban Kassadin. They are not going to let Cool get some Kassadin's revenge. Picking that champion away. Interesting first ban on the Leona, though, from OMG. Like, I know she's strong and she forces team fights, but she's not Braum, and she is almost never banned. I wish I could see ban stats on Leona, because I feel like while she may be somewhat common, there's so many big picks to take away here. You have to think about Gragas, take that one away. Lee Sin, also a big ban out here, and Ziggs, something that's been huge for almost every team in LPL. Also can't forget about the Syndra that you would love to play, but it was banned in game 1. Cool would love to play that one too.
Yeah, but still, now we do have the Kassadin ban, but there might be no Kale ban still. No Kog'Maw this time around. Just look at that. Evelyn and Yasuo coming out.
Oh,
so a lot
yeah.
of champions left out open.
If you're talking about Kog'Maw and Tristana both up, and I'd love to see the first pick Kog'Maw. It's very risky, because then your opponent just like locks in Draven, wards the lane early so that they guarantee themselves the 2v2, and you just kind of cry inside. But yeah, there it is. First pick Kog'Maw, no questions asked.
Yeah, the lane swap is gonna come out, but Sun, he definitely wants to get this Kog'Maw. He is the late game carry. He was not really doing too well with his Corki, especially with the last fight where he got caught so far away from his team. Doesn't really feel too well.
And speaking of catching out Kog'Maws, Koro 1 now going to lock in that Kale. Kale champion that was banned over the course of both the games today previously. Not going to be a priority ban here between EDG and OMG. She was recently nerfed, and this is the patch in which nerfed Kale is out there. So maybe team's not really prioritizing those Kale bans quite as much anymore. Rengar! Didn't see him at all. Picked or banned last series. Now he's going to come out for Drug. And honestly, I like Rengar on Drug. I would have, of course, preferred Lee Sin, but Rengar, of course, next champion in line, especially with Evelyn being banned too.
Oh yeah, so maybe this Draven? Nah, not really. I would have loved to see it. And you said that maybe pick a Draven versus a Kog'Maw. Why not? I do want to see a champion like that coming up in the LPL because everyone is just so aggressive right here. Then why not go for the most aggressive AD carry of them all?
And now for Cool, I would expect a Twisted Fate or a Ziggs, but they lock in Xerath and a Gragas. Huge team comp defining picks there for OMG, and that puts Gragas in the top lane on going, and a Xerath mid for Cool. Like, those are dream champions for both of those players, and you can see the Xerath win rate there. It's been banned in 0.5% of the games. But it's picked out there for Cool.
This is Nami on Twitch. So, yeah, it's not Draven, it's not a Jinx, it's not a Kog'Maw, whatever. It's a Twitch. And that is his AD carry that really put him in a top spot of the AD carries in the world. Because he was just playing this Twitch over and over again a year ago. Then a half a year ago, and now he's once again coming back to this champion. And we haven't seen him for a long time. We just talked about it in the previous picks and bans. Now we see him locked in.
There you go. Final lineups for both of your teams. So coming in here tonight, EDG looking to take down first place away from OMG. Or actually now it's away from World Elite after they did eclipse that score earlier on. So EDG with a lot on the line. We'll see if they can take down game number 2 as well and move up to first place in the LPL standings. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game 2 here between EDG and OMG when LPL returns right after this.
前两天演了一场戏，然后现在再一度登场，到底能不能打？配合最近练的怎么样？泽拉斯伤害是很高，没错，但是3发大招都打中不容易。不，说实话，你看这个阵容，你就看这个阵容，就是3个字：没伤害。中前期就是没伤害，另外一边就感觉打成怎么都好打。这边要看 OMG 能不能给我们带来奇迹了。EDG 和 OMG 的比赛马上准备就绪，进入双方的第2场。
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the live coverage of the LPL here in English on Twitch TV. Of course, brought to you in part by our friends at Games in Asia and Gosu Gamers. I'm Rapid, I'm here with Nero, and we'll be closing out tonight with the last game of the evening. It's OMG, currently sitting at second, taking on EDG, a team that's been in second for a long time here in this split. Coming out with one game in the bag. EDG looking to take down first place with a win here over OMG.
Alright, so Name once again getting a little bit of damage very early on. Except the previous time it was Name who dealt the damage onto San. And with the solution versus Corki, right now we do have a Cog versus Twitch. And once again, we do expect a lane swap coming out from OMG, from San. He does want to just be farming up. And once again, it is a lane swap coming out from them.
Not really anything too surprising. We've seen lane swaps in the majority of LPL games, with the exception of, I think, one game in our first series tonight. But mostly that's just because laners like Kog'Maw. You want to give him the biggest chance that he has to just farm as easily as possible, so trying to get him into that 2v1 for sure. But still have to wait for the traditional late invade. It's something that a lot of Chinese teams do. We saw it in game 1. So now OMG sort of guarding against their own invade strategy.
So everyone pretty much stacked up around this top half of the jungle from both of the teams. We're looking for an invade from EDG, as you said.
Oh, but now, first blood already. Clear Love, not where he needed to be, and exactly what we were talking about. OMG guarding against their own strategy. Catch the jungler walking to blue, and now OMG. Oh, Cora 1 in a little bit of a rough spot. He's going to get pulled back in, but you can tell San just wants to get the lane.
Yeah, so, well, just not checking the right brushes and walking into the enemy's jungle is a really reckless thing to do.
Well, I don't know. I don't think Reckless feeds First Blood that way. But either way, OMG off to a very strong start. They get the most possible gold out of that early kill. 1 kill, 4 assists, and about the best start you could possibly want, with the exception of, of course, the kill being there onto the support.
It doesn't matter, to be honest. It still was a very early kill, so they do not get the full gold for the First Blood. It still is a lot of gold for them, though, and they still set Clear Love pretty far behind in jungling.
He's going to be coming out there. You can see double jungle is probably going to be sort of, I don't know, there's no surprise about that just yet. The biggest surprise to me is to see Neymar, he's roaming with the jungler to keep up in experience, but...
I think that it's because they don't want to get the red buff stolen, because Clear Love might want to go for this red buff steal, but he doesn't really know that his own got stolen, and, well, Rengar just wants to be secure right there.
I think he just wants to be level 3. Has yet to achieve that. Now finally we'll get that extra level out there. Speaking of other levels, you can notice Going went to the solo lane 1v2 for a very long time. Did not double jungle. So maybe a little bit of an antiquated strat, but EDG come out with a little bit of a rough pick getting taken down there at level 1. See if they can rebound.
Alright, so OMG coming out on top in the early game this time around, so maybe this 1-1 dream is real life. I want it to be this way though. But yeah, still we do have the 7.
Oh, and now the dive here. FCZF gonna get dragged back underneath the turret, and there will be Clear Love trade tanking that turret aggro. Perfect dive out there by Edward Gaming. They take a few extra turret shots, so they will probably back out from this. Not really going to shove the turret too hard as Drug shows up for some extra security.
Still a good dive coming out from EDG. They might be looking for something more. They don't have the health bars too.
Yeah, exactly. Taking so many turret shots really limits your options there. OU playing that's playing that Ziggs versus Xerath matchup. And I feel like these champions do very, very well against each other, except Ziggs tends to have a little bit of extra pressure, but all slow down onto Name very, very carefully. Backing away from Going. And Going is actually having a beautiful start to this game. He's 10 CS up. He doesn't have all the consumables or the extra Doran's ring, but he's actually been in lane laning, whereas you can see that top lane. Kog'Maw really doing a lot to zone out Cora 1.
Alright, so OMG versus EDG. Looking quite even right now in the kills and the gold. Not necessarily. But still, who does have the advantage right here? In my opinion, it is EDG with this Twitch and Ziggs pick. Also, they do have the KO too. That's really, really strong team comp right now coming up from EDG. With just the carries.
Yeah, exactly. EDG, they did get incredibly strong team comp, and I think you touched on it earlier, but we really didn't mention it. Name bringing out the Twitch. You said you wanted to see more Twitch out there, and I guess he's giving you your wish. The only problem is he's playing Twitch against Kog'Maw, so when Twitch ults, then sure, he's gonna be able to do a ton of damage in team fights, but Kog'Maw's persistent damage and incredibly long range from Bio-Arcane Barrage is... I don't know if OMG can take this early advantage, keep themselves safe over the next like 20 minutes. Yeah, sure, San's gonna be a monster, so we'll see if that can bring OMG back for the 1-1.
Yeah, that's a big point, but cool. We'll see if he goes for this Rylai's Crystal Scepter that we have seen on the previous Xerath. Because that is a really interesting item right there, and it worked quite fine.
Yeah, exactly. The reason you don't see a lot of Rylai's on Xerath is because every single one of his moves, with the exception of stun, is area of effect, so you only get a third of the slow from Rylai's. So it's kind of a minor annoyance, but mostly just used to kite yourself around and make sure that you have as much move speed control, both over yourself and over the enemy, as possible with the CC that he does offer. So. Clear Love's going to be taking out his top jungle, looking to rotate top lane to keep that upper turret alive. And that's why you can see FZZF up there too. He's sort of the emissary for Name, just making sure that no turrets go down super early in the game. We're only 8 minutes in.
Alright, so there is a little bit of the pressure on top lane. The start goes down. There's the gold lead for OMG. Quite a big one right now.
At least big for this point in time in the game. About 1,300 gold. But more importantly, it's important to notice where that is at. Oh, blue buff steal attempt there by Cool. Wait, did he steal that blue? Is that a blue buff steal? I can't tell whether or not it's fresh, but oh no, it's not. It's not. He didn't steal it. He just got it.
He didn't even have the range right there.
It was close. It was close. You miss 100% of the ults you don't take. So nice to see him out there getting it. But
at least you tried, okay.
Yeah, one of the things I was highlighting, actually don't remember right now, so keeping an eye out onto the bottom half of the map. Going's kind of getting Zozoined away from the creep wave down there. But he is up. Oh yeah, huge CS advantages. So coming back in that, Name was down 20 CS. Now he's only down 10. And actually bringing that one back really well. Mid lane's even. Top lane is not. 20 CS advantage for Going, who just was actually in lane. Whereas Koro1 was kind of moving around, getting zoned more importantly.
And once again, we do have Koro1 on the scale. He wasn't doing too well on her in the previous game. Of course, there were the interventions. But he went down, actually, in the later stages of the game. He just went down in a 1v1 against Going, and then later on teleported in a fight and died instantaneously. So, well, the scale might be a little bit of a questionable pick coming out from EDG. Still, it is important to keep your AD carry alive right there, because Name is a beast.
Exactly. Name, probably the better laner out of these two AD carries. San, maybe a little bit better in team fights, but we are in the laning phase, and Name, more importantly, is playing Twitch. Like, oh my gosh, that is his dream champion, if I've ever seen one. And he's kind of bringing it back after a trip to the Kog'Maw train. Has been playing a lot of that champion lately. Oh, knock up, and oh my gosh, the Wombo combo. Heal comes out onto Drug. He's actually going to jump back in. The Xerath ult, point blank range. And there's just Drug trying to stealth out. Can't get out alive in time. Cool's got the damage, throwing it out. You very, very low. Stun does not hit. The flash in. Death sentence locks down. Koro ignites down. So is the intervention. It's going to keep him safe and sound for just a little bit. Wait, what? Where's Cool going? He's walking through the turret. Takes it up, and now, oh, it's San trying to get in there, but the kill onto 777 takes him out. Neymar down 3-3 overall off of one of the craziest dives we've seen tonight.
Yeah, so that was a really big one, but 2 kills for Koro1 right there. That is really huge. And outplaying with the intervention so much. If not Going, he still would have stayed alive and maybe even got a kill on Cool. But the most important thing is that Rengar He has already gone down, but there comes 777 with a lantern. It was really late. And then a little bit of a fail from him with the ignite, with the flash hook that didn't really do too much. Missed the flay. So yeah, the support, the sub support is some kind of a weaker spot in OMG's lineup.
And really just not coordinating with the rest of his team. A lot of times we'll talk about how the difference between Chinese duo lanes, where one member of the lane is Chinese and the other is Korean, since that actually happens relatively frequently. But the bigger difference is between an AD carry and a sub support who is not used to playing with him. You can really see a lot of kind of indecision there between San and Neymar, or 777, like you can see on your screen.
Alright, so 12th minute in the game. No Rod of Ages to look forward to this time around, though. But this Xerath, yeah, he has 102 at the moment. He will be getting stronger and stronger. And the ultimates did already hit in the team fights. That is the strength of this Xerath. Maybe he will appear even more frequently in the LPL. It's just the second pick.
I'm not sure necessarily about the LPL, but it should be seeing a lot of play elsewhere around the world. Already saw it in EU LCS primarily. I think that's where it started with Overpow from Team Rocket playing a ton of Xerath. And then most recently, a couple weeks ago, Faker brought out Xerath too, which is where people really started paying attention. And now NALCS is next, apparently. So we'll see how popularized it gets. But as far as just like a little bit more standard compositions, the Kog'Maw still working out for San. He's 001, but he does have 110 CS right now, so he is going to be well on track to finishing that Trinity Force first.
But we are still waiting for Nami to try and do something. He's this kind of a guy that should dominate in the laning phase, especially against San, but he doesn't do anything. But 777 once again missing everything. And with such a gank from Drug, it could have been such a good thing. Doesn't work out.
Such a gank. Such a gank.
The
Not
ultimate
quite.
from Rengar got used, so he was ready.
Yeah, he was ready, but the death sentence onto FCZF. He's going to flash out of the box, but oh my gosh, Drug tried to go in. Not in time, though. Name gets back to his turret, but the rest of OMG, they're playing this very, very aggressively, looking for the blue buff steal. Mega Inferno Bomb hits onto 4, and there's Clear Love looking to force a fight. Where's the Donkeys wanting a re-engage there? Snipes coming down from Cool all the way in the back. He's got a lot of damage left to dish out, but Death Sentence will not hook there from Neymar, and overall no kills.
Well, the big problem at the moment is that Yu doesn't have any mana at all, and Name doesn't have it too. So they really need to take this blue and go back to the base. Try and regen up by a little bit, but OMG are still strong.
Now, OMG definitely came prepared here for this game number 2, and I think they're actually outplaying EDG at several key situations. Most importantly, the first turret dive looking extremely sloppy, but this time around OMG are at least playing it a little bit more slowly. I mean, they lose Drug in that last fight, but they were able to pick up a couple of kills for themselves and tie it back at 4-4.
Yeah, the game is still so even. OMG do have a little bit of an advantage in the goal, but kills are still dead even right there. And I still believe that Name does have a little bit of an advantage up until San gets this really scary late game Kog'Maw.
So that tells me he is going to get there. Keep in mind, like I said, keep quoting the stat. Like, average game length between these two teams is like 40.5 minutes. Like, these games go the distance. Having a Kog'Maw on your team is a good place to be for OMG. Of course, Trinity Force now completed big power spikes for just about everyone in the game here around the 15-minute mark. You've got Rod of Ages completed there for GoGoing's Gragas. An interesting Gragas build. A lot of Gragases will go double Doran's Ring into Iceborne Gauntlets, but this time around it's the Rod of Ages for GoGoing.
Yeah, so actually I said that we don't really wait for this Rod of Ages to come out in this game because we don't have a Kassadin, but here we go. Going for it on a Gragas. This is going to be quite a tanky one.
FZZF a little bit caught out there. There's explosive cast just to keep things safe and sound and going. He is going to get going out of that jungle as quickly as possible. Oh, Name in the mid lane is going to get stunned out. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb as well. No follow-up onto Cool. Had to kite backwards for about as quickly as he possibly could. Use that summoner heal. Kept himself alive.
Alright, so Nami should have expected Cool to turn around on him, but he didn't even attempt to go for a juke. Still Cool hit the stun, runs away with his life. That is really good for him because the Xerath is doing so well in this game. Still be sitting on this 102, still hitting all the ultimates, being a big part in the fights.
Yeah, and Xerath here is mostly just used for maybe kind of a Ziggs counter. Not necessarily. He's got incredible wave clear, a ton of poke, and it's our all area of effect. It's just, you know, delivered in, of course, very, very different ways. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not. Wait, why is Koro even there? He keeps himself alive with his intervention, but he is a little bit ahead of the rest of his team. Death Sentence lands. There's the Xerath damage. Play back right into the bog. Barrel damage is out as well as Going's going to get in there. FZZF will dodge the last hit of that Xerath ultimate. But a big pick there on to Jarvan. OMG going to take second tier turret off the back of that.
Not only he dodged the last tick of the ultimate, but also the bola strikes. And yeah, the intervention and the flash being the savior of Core 1, but as you said, why does he even sit there in the top lane? Being so vulnerable to OMG, and they come out on top of the fight, taking 1 kill, 1 turret, and stealing the red buff. Right now, they are creating a domination over the map. They do have a lot more turrets, and they do have the dominance of the top half of the map. That is the most important thing, because the Baron might be an opportunity later on.
Definitely an opportunity, but for now it is. But oh, EDG gonna get a nice attempted engage there, but actually FCCF missing most of what he needed to hit. Didn't quite work out the way he planned. Still snipes coming down. You can see as much pain as at long and at least as long a range as he possibly could. Not the finest hour here for either one of the teams. Both of them showing major shortcomings, but tankiness. It's a good thing to have on your team as OMG will look to take down Dragon #1, or at least negotiate for it.
Well, yeah, both OMG and EDG do want this Dragon, but OMG can just go for the middle lane. And that's what they are gonna do right here. We do have the better positioning. Ziggs is still not on the lane.
Yeah, I was gonna say right here, maybe not right here. Of course, you're gonna have to hard engage on Ziggs, and oh man, this is just not really something that OMG are prepared for. They have no potential. Oh, there's the dunk down. Clearlove just going for it. Mega Inferno Bomb's there, and it is actually Clearlove the first to die off of that engagement. Xerath ultimate's hitting a little bit, but the Kog'Maw passive not able to follow that up. It's 1-for-1 in the end, but bunch of extra gold here for EDG.
Still, it was a 1-for-1, and yeah, Kog'Maw would have still been able to run away from there, but he used his flash a little while earlier, so he got locked up in this cataclysm without any chances of escaping. But still, the dragon is alive. No one even dares to try and take it. And it's the 20th minute already, so the next dragon attempt might even turn into a Baron attempt from the other team. So they
exactly.
have to watch out for that too.
Yeah, and once you're around the 20-minute mark, Baron always becomes a, hey, we just killed all 5 of you guys, let's go Baron. More important, or more likely than that, will just be the rotation here around Dragon. Much easier, much more safe and sound, and with even better ward clear or ward coverage for EDG.
You have the teleport from Gragas though.
Yeah, that teleport, huh? Usually you teleport when
that
you
was a weird one.
Fight, but yeah, no fighting's gonna happen right now. Both teams poking each other off, but EDG with the dragon.
Right, so first of all, there was no marking of this teleport on the map. We could just see him teleporting, but not to where he was teleporting, so I didn't know where he's gonna appear. It turned out that pretty much nowhere. Didn't even do anything.
And that is going to be a 4-minute cooldown down. Or is it 5 minutes now? It depends on if he has the summoner spell reduction in the utility tree. But the biggest thing to watch out for right now is just look at the lanes and where they are for OMG. You've got split push down the bottom lane, split push up top lane, split push in the mid lane, and just all of them being hit out there. Koro's looking for the slow in on to stand. The flay back, the box is down. The culling is not available. That's where I just yelled out whenever any AD carry ults, but that time around, spray and pray, or what are we supposed to call it nowadays? Rat-a-tat-tat. I'd almost rather call it the culling instead, but it's basically the same idea. Big area of effect there, and oh, Drug wants to go in onto you. Gets to jump in, but no follow-up at all. Gets to the lockdown. Where is it? Ultimate coming down from on high. Cool. Sniping out Clear Love. Nice pick off the engage from Drug.
But the damage from the ultimate. Wow, just
going, gets the body slam. He's got the explosive cask as well. Going, where is the Xerath ultimate? It's not there in time to follow up. Of course, it was just used, so going, having to go the other direction out there. One more auto attack. The snipe's good from Cool again. Playing that Xerath immaculately. Now 3-0-4 at a second tier turret. Second tier turret of the game here. OMG, now they have to disengage here. Drug's probably dead, yeah. But oh, Name might get picked at the back line. Almost going down. Just not quite as enough.
Everything is so close right here. But Gogoing still could have got the kill onto you back then. But he knocked him away with the explosive cask from his barrel roll. So he didn't get the full damage potential at there. Wow. It's so close. But Cool just being such a great carry for OMG at the moment. His Xerath is never mistaking.
And you can see, I don't think EDG are going to be mistaking too much about this. A much different start to the game than we had in Game 1, where EDG, of course, looked much more dominant, even if there wasn't a whole lot of action. This time around, it's 23 minutes in and we already have 16 kills, so I think I like the style a little bit better, and I think it's just going to get crazier from here on out, because not only do you have big items starting to be completed off that recall back to base, it's a needlessly large rod bought after selling the Doran's ring. Koro is going to be hitting incredibly hard as that KL picks up a ward as well.
So 8-8 still even in the kills, but still the advantage is on the side of OMG, especially with the Xerath and especially with the turrets that they got on the side. So yep, the control over the Baron pit is creating over and over again, and it's still in favor of OMG too.
Well, OMG, very impressive, but more importantly, look at what they're taking the opportunity to do. Just walk through the upper Baron area and just clear out all the ward coverage. Now they're making it back to their mid lane in time to defend. This is pretty impressive play. Explosive cast coming in there. Name gets the KO ultimate, but he also gets stunned out there and grabbed in. Perfect alley-oop set up between 777 and Cool. Mega Inferno bombs equally as huge, and there's Koro actually flashing in, taking down San in the back lane. FCZF, they're still alive. Can they find the kill? Kathy and Surprise gonna dish out the damage, but it's just not enough. Now you looking to bounce himself back away from the fight. Going still alive there. A Drug still in there. Has his full ferocity stacks if he wants to go in for something, but OMG is right. A 3-for-3 exchange in that team fight.
And once again, so close. Gogoing and Drug solo on health. On the other hand, you also almost going down. This is just incredible. Neither of the teams will get the chance to go for the Baron as of yet. And it's already 25th minute in the game. And OMG still preserving the advantage, but can't really make it any bigger.
Well, we've seen this in almost every series of the night. Let's take a quick look at the replay, though. Barrel slow from Going, and he throws down the cask. It really only hits on a Name, who's immediately KO ulted, so no focus there. But the death sentence there from 777 right into Cool's ult was just so beautiful to watch. Of course, the Cataclysm pretty good looking as well. Taking out Cool there in the back line, and then just like bombs from the back line. FCZF getting in there too. You actually overextends and walks too close to Going, and that's what actually winds up forcing him back out of the fight rather than being allowed to just dish out all the damage that he needed to and take that Gragas out.
Yeah, but explosive minefield, that's the thing that held Drug away from the fight. So you has thrown it out a little while earlier, and it actually saved his life later on.
Baron buff being baited out. Oh, the death sentence. Holy hell, that was so close to catching out FCZF. Of course, he's super tanky, so he'd probably be able to live, but better safe than sorry. Just ward after ward going over the back of the Baron pit.
And there's the death sentence and the lantern also. So Drug would have been able to deal a lot of damage, and he still does have the full ferocity stacks. It could have been a kill on FCZ, but look at that in the middle lane.
But now San's gonna go down. Mega Inferno Bomb not even needed. It's just straight up Name getting in there. Now Cool's gonna drop a lot of ultimates for a lot of damage, and Name goes down as well. Yu's gonna get locked up there, but now it's Drug's turn to die off the Cataclysm engage from Clear Love, and just like last time, it's a 2-for-2 exchange with you barely making it out alive.
Well, there was damage coming out from Cool, but once again, not enough. It was pretty much the same with Name a little while earlier. Still not making it happen. The fights are so close right here. It's just incredible.
Doesn't get a whole lot much closer than this. I think earlier on tonight we had a 4-for-5 exchange. That was pretty darn close. Of course, no double aces just yet, but maybe we'll see that one finally make it out there. Interesting to see. I think if you look at the way that the AD carries are playing this out there, I expected dual lane to be a big set of discrepancy, big source of strength for EDG, but it's just not that way now. Here's San getting caught out there. FCZF throws down his passive, the slow, the explosive bombs coming out, but now look at the Xerath damage from Cool. It's like 1, 2, 3, chunks out you, so he can't even get back into the fight, and Name walking way too close for comfort. He goes down. Drug next to follow from you, just throwing it down, but yeah, exactly, just that health kind of evaporating, and you just barely making it out alive.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bad thing, or rather a sad thing for OMG, but still, EDG, they missed the Mega Inferno Bomb because it flew onto San, who was already dead, so that would have been a lot more damage for EDG in the fight. Both of the teams could have won it a little bit more.
Exactly, just a little bit too close for comfort there on the carry line for really both teams, and especially with San getting caught out there before the fight even started. Definitely not something that OMG will want to replicate.
Alright, so the game continues, and still there is the Baron focus, but still no one can really take it. Boss being taken, but, well, EDG do have to watch out. See if they get caught right here. Most probably be a big part of the game going to OMG, and coming back from losing a Baron would be a bad thing. But still, there's just the inhibitor turrets. If they lose a fight right here, they lose a huge chunk of the base too.
Nobody willing to make any aggressive moves just yet, and at least so far it's been off of, I guess, somewhat mispositioning. I want to say Drug was the one that went in prematurely last time, but then had follow-up, so I guess it wasn't very premature after all. He's been looking actually a lot better than I expected, but in order to talk about players looking good, you have to focus on the mid lane. Cool with 1 death there in that last team fight. First time he died all game, and that was after picking up, I believe, 5 kills, so... I mean, deathless performance from you, so his Ziggs is just looking stronger than ever, but I think that's a little bit more expected than seeing a Xerath doing well.
Yeah, definitely, and, well, comparing him to Xerath, I think that Cole is coming out on top in this one.
How is that?
I mean, he always hits the ultimates a little bit better. He got a lot more assists and dealing a little bit more damage, and especially in the previous fight, because Xerath was throwing out the ultimates onto Name and you just missed his ultimate completely. So there was a lot of damage gone for EDG with just 1 skill shot missed.
When you say you missed your his ultimate completely, I thought you were talking about me, and I'm just like, Dude, I don't miss my ultimate all that much. Well, okay. Well, rather regardless of whether or not I do, Drug still going very, very aggressive. Looking to get the jump in there. Finds it on Aname. There's the burst damage from extremely long range. Xerath ultimate's coming down from on high as Cool's got all that damage left to poke in. But look at use damage just bouncing. Bomb, one right after another. Dunks down onto San. It's going to take him out, and the bombs continue to fall. You know, actually, the only member of his team left alive is EDG just walked right into Cool. That is not the way you follow up onto a pick, but OMG looking good. Looking for their first base turret of the game.
The Cassian surprise taking clear off to the grave, and that leaves you alone to try and defend the turrets. He will be able to make it, but actually no, OMG is not going for the Baron. Why? They do have the jungler on quite a nice health bar. They do have a lot of damage coming in from Seraph. Why don't they go for this Baron?
Baron is sort of the LPL inhibitor. You have to take down at least one Baron before you win the game. I'd love to see stats on that. See how many LPL games are won without Baron buff being involved. Because I'm going to guess it's a very small number. Just because it is such a popular decision to go for. Rather than things, you know, like base turrets and inhibitors and, you know, nexuses. Important things like that.
Alright, so OMG finally creating a little bit of an advantage with a fight, but still, it's so close. EDG can bring it back anytime. With Name once again catching San off guard.
I think slightly off guard is probably a little bit of an understatement with how hard he just got destroyed. So anytime you can't see any member of the enemy team, you have to be aware that they are maybe not plotting evilly, but their next game plan is in their minds. And for the next game plan on OMG, it is to wait and bait around the corner at Baron.
And it's the third time they are going for it in this game. And it didn't work out even once, so we're waiting. Show us something impressive, OMG, and they are actually backing out as they see the enemy's team approaching. Not an impressive bait right now.
Yeah, not at all. And really, Drug's going to be the one to engage again. He throws out the Bolo Death Sentence, pulls Clear Love way back into the fight, and Cool just destroys him. Look at that Xerath ultimate coming up. Name goes down and going following up on that Xerath damage, and Drug's going to flash in for more CC. Even though he is very low, he turns around for a Death Sentence actually going to land on a Koro. OMG are just running down the mid lane, finding one pick after another.
But Koro still with a kill on San that stops OMG completely. And once again, they can't do anything. They can't bring the turrets down. They can't go for a Baron. Wow. Why did San go right there to die to Koro? That is a weird thing. A weird decision.
Weird is one way. I think you're too kind, Nero. And after team fights like that, you can see both teams actually perfectly willing to split evenly and evenly, because that actually makes the team that's a little bit weaker stronger, because they can come back and find some more options. But Drug, okay, so on the replay when Drug comes in, look at this, just pulls Clear Love right into all that Xerath damage, and now Cool is just gonna ultimate, and even though he can't find a kill from his ult, Going's got the flash over right on top of Name's Twitch, and then there is from there on out it's
on.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're gonna see Drug very, very low there. One more auto attack, and the biggest bomb from you just makes that fight a massacre in favor of EDG.
Could have just stayed on the backline and thrown out the ultimates, but he wanted to go for the auto attacks too, and that's what killed him. First the Mega Inferno Bomb, then the damage from Koro. Susan, a little bit of a questionable positioning in this fight, but still they do get a little bit of an advantage, but still, what does it give them?
I feel like we're going to be saying but still a whole lot, because you see repeatedly one team or another team just getting an advantage, and it just does not pay off. So very, very difficult here to wage war for EDG. For EDG, like, how do they force a fight here? It's going to have to be off of... Name is going to be the one forcing it there. Dunks down onto San. Look at that 80 carry damage. His intervention as well. That's not fair. You can't deal damage to him. And now, Drug's going to be stealthing his way defensively out there. And Cool coming in with a big ultimate of his own there, but not enough to find a kill. Name staying alive in this one. Drug, don't do it. It's not worth it. And okay, safe and sound. EDG will make it out.
So that's the intervention. Even though the scale is a little bit nerfed, Koro still got a kill on the AD carry in the previous fight, and this time around defends his own. That's really good. Alright, so
big thing to watch out for. I'll finish my thought and turn it back over to you. For EDG, they're starting to have like Twitch start to scale up. You've got Jarvan as well, so you really just want that one big wombo combo. Whereas for OMG, rather, they've got a lot of displacement, a lot of long-range snipe abilities from Kog'Maw, Xerath, and so they don't actually want to go for these big fights. They're being forced into it because they see kills, when really they should probably just like hang back and continue this slow push, taking every objective.
Alright, so EDG now, they are trying to look for something to get back in the game, and it's kind of tough. They got this Kog'Maw multiple times already, so that's a good thing to look forward to, because this Kog'Maw is the late hyper carry, of course. So if you take him out, they do get a nice chance.
Baron's starting to heat up here. Those Ziggs bombs just by themselves, land a couple of those and you are in bad shape. So EDG, they force OMG off of the Baron, but now we have to watch out here for this mid turret. Xerath ultimate coming down. One hit lands onto FZZF, but that's cools ult down for another minute and a half. All right, it's just a minute. It does have that cooldown reduction on there. So I thought it was ironic when Cool bought cooldown reductions. Like, are you reducing yourself? That doesn't sound right. OMG once again sending Drug way up that lane, but it's not May with the stealth in there. Look at that spray and pray. So much extra damage, and the dunks down from Clear Love into the Mega Inferno Bomb. EDG with the biggest wombo combo of the game. Blow up 3 members from OMG, and now it's their turn to go on to the Baron.
Yeah, and it should be an easy one right now. EDG turning this one around and coming back in the game. I didn't really expect that to come out from them. I really thought that this is going to be an OMG's game. Well, it's so close.
I mean, I thought so too, and off of just one team fight. Is this We versus We Academy again, Nero? Like, that's the level of throws we just saw. Like, EDG just said, hey, what if we just ran down the mid lane and killed them all? And with a nice pick and an even better flank from Clear Love, like, that guy monstered that fight up. He just went in and was like, look, you guys are inside the Cataclysm now, and there's an OMG just like collectively, no, help us, not inside the Cataclysm. That is too much. The AoE just ridiculous. You especially has way too much damage to deal with.
Alright, so now they even out in kills, and the difference in turrets doesn't even do much at this stage in the game. So EDG, one good fight, another good fight actually, and they will be taking the turrets down, and then maybe the inhibitors too. So it comes down to a team that can win a fight finally, because there's no Baron at the moment. They don't get distracted.
Don't get distracted. That's a good thing to talk about, just because I feel like with Baron buff on OMG, it's easy to, or on EDG, it's easy for OMG to think, oh no, we just threw super hard at the Baron. Now we're super far behind. We have to find a way to get back, but if you look at the gold count, OMG is actually still ahead. Like, there's nothing wrong with their team comp right now. They've got a huge CS advantage in the top lane. Even bigger one down in... I actually thought they had one in AD carry, but looks like Name has pulled that one back out. So things are actually still okay for OMG, with the exception of the Baron buff actually still being on Edward Gaming. And I think Edward Gaming are overall like 2 or 3 levels up. Spread between the champions, of course.
Yeah, no, another thing is that Name is just so aggressive on this AD carry and goes for the 1v1 versus San every time he can. And wins that every single time too. So yeah, at this moment, it is getting close to the stage of the game where gold doesn't really matter too much, because everyone is just closing out the full builds. But still, OMG do have a slight advantage.
That's a little bit more than slight now. Oh, Name's going in there. Look at those crits on the 777. Have mercy. The Mega Inferno Bomb's going to land. And the Xerath ultimate coming down is going to be enough for a little bit of damage. But, oh my god.
That's Name for you.
Exactly. The only thing he didn't do that I expected was flashing behind the turret into 5 people. Like, that's about as much manliness as you can count.
And he's going in once again. Will he find something? Oh, yes, he will.
Oh my gosh, right in there onto San. Gets the crits, but actually winds up not going down. He's so low, but he stays alive in the back line. San falls. The rest of the follow-up through the turret.
Oh no. He will go down.
He does get sniped there by Cool, so at least there's one kill coming out for OMG, but wait.
Another one.
Oh, come on.
No.
Cool is just getting gifted freebies right now. Like, Name's just like, hey, you want to mystery gift me? And the mystery is Name's positioning, and he just gifts it right towards Cool. And he's just like, oh, cool. I got a dead Twitch skin. It's the best one. But EDG off the back of that. They lose some champions, but they'll take the dragon and be able to buff up before they come back from base. So still a big push that was widely in EDG's favor, and they still have Baron buff for a few more minutes.
Oh, wow. The snipes from Cool right there. Koro could have stayed alive. Name could have stayed alive, but no, he's just denying that OMG will not give the game up without a fight, and Cool is just holding OMG still in the game.
Yeah, Cool's a monster right now. And you'll actually notice as far as like defensive items are concerned, a lot of AP carries, especially ones that run Ghost for their summoner instead of heal like you can see Cool doing. They'll actually use the Zhonya's Hourglass as their defensive item instead of going for a Banshee's Veil, just so that they can pick up more magic penetration like you can see Cool has in the form of that Liandry's Torment. Of course, the big weird thing that I'm noticing is that there's no Rylai's Crystal Scepter on Xerath. That has been something that's been fairly uniform on a lot of Xeraths out there that you just don't see anymore now. Oh, Drugs. Stealthing around there. He's doing Rengar things, but can't find any catches.
And Cool doesn't need this Rylai's Crystal Scepter right there. He just hits all the ultimates without it. It's just the proficiency on hitting the skill shots right there. Cool is just so good.
That is true. And Cool, to be fair, is coming back and like not quite back to his regular form. He's not quite on that like season 2 Messiah level back when you just like kill everybody and don't even try. But his Xerath is doing the best out of everyone, and you really can't argue that he's really hard carrying his team right now. His Xerath ults hurt way too much even for San with a Banshee's Veil is going to be able to block one of them. He's going to get taken down well below half. Or Name, that's what I meant to say.
Alright, so... But now he just goes in for San and doesn't even care. He gets the kill. So, well, we'll have to wait to maybe see that come out. But that's a big maybe. And the Baron will be spawning in 120. So once again, the distraction is coming back into the game.
Okay, well,
10.
Exactly. And this game is right on par for the course as far as game length is concerned. I think it's an average like 41 minutes for games between these two teams, and oh man, this it's so balanced on a knife's edge. With as close as these team fights have been, I wouldn't be surprised if we had like another 4-for-5 team fight where nobody can really do anything after it just because maybe the wrong person lives at the end. Oh my gosh, but with Baron respawning in 30 seconds, something tells me that's going to accelerate the end of the game.
Unstoppable is now sitting on 9-0-10, so still not going down on this Ziggs. But on the other hand, we do have this big Xerath. But still, this game is just so close. However, OMG did have the advantage for quite a long time, so now they are once again on the defense. EDG just coming back and looking for the game with this Baron. Once again, they might have the strength to push into the base of OMG. We first need to get this Baron.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Baron is pretty much the only thing standing between these two teams and the end of the game. Because one team's going to start the Baron, the other one's going to try to stop them, and then either somebody gets hooked or one team engages, and it's all about like how that engage starts. So Sniperinoing coming out from that Xerath, and there's actually gonna be cool. He picks the wrong place to ultimate, immediately flashes backwards. Name gets pulled into a horrible position, but he's invincible for the entire team fight thanks to the Kale ultimate. And now San, oh poor San, tried to clear out Clear Love, and Clear Love's gonna die here to the Icathian surprise, but even still there, a massive pick, and Go-Going's down, San's down, and even more just gonna transpire. That ult timing decision by Cool was very risky. He wound up canceling his ultimate, being forced to flash away, and just taken completely out of the fight.
Yeah, but Cool is still alive. He might make something happen. Nope. The dev sentence misses, and oh, look at Name.
Name stealthing in there is Cool. He's gonna try for the stun. He actually gets the intervention back again. He's got more damage left to dish out there, but it's the kill on to Cool. Name. If you guys wanted to know why Name is well known for playing Twitch, well,
Finish the game.
I think you got a good idea. Yeah, Name's gonna have enough damage to follow up for the rest of his team. FCZS can take these double turrets for days. Drug is there trying to be annoying, but nobody really cares about him. He doesn't deal in very much damage, and the rest of the team just pushing through. EDG down for most of the game. We'll take a 2-0 victory over OMG.
Yeah, and finally making it so good for them. Because OMG was so dominant in the regular splits of LPL always. And now EDG finally take a 2-0 right here, and they dominate them everywhere. On IEM, on IET, on LPL. It's just EDG right now for China.
And keep in mind, OMG is kind of in a little bit of a reforming stage where Cool and Drug are both sort of like relearning their roles, starting to get back to be comfortable with that. And OMG, they're not a weak team by any means, but EDG, they're just starting to hit a big power spike that's catapulted them into first place with World Elite. So it's been some crazy swaps and switch-ups and mix-ups for LPL here tonight. And you can see the matchups for tomorrow starting out with Invictus Gaming versus Young Glory. So make sure to tune in tomorrow. That'll be at 6 China time. I believe that's 4 a.m. Eastern time, with that being 1 o'clock in Pacific time. So
it's 1600 of China time, actually. There is a 6, but it's not.
I said 6, but it's 1600 China time. That is correct. We'll put up more match threads on Reddit. Make sure to let you guys know about it. But thank you guys for watching tonight's English coverage of the LPL here on Twitch TV. Of course, brought to you guys by Games in Asia and Gosu Gamers. I have been Rapid Casting. With me has been Nero Integrate. We've been your casters for tonight, and hope you guys enjoyed the show. Once again, make sure to tune in tomorrow. It's 4 p.m. China time, 1600. We'll see you then for Invictus Gaming versus Young Glory to start things off. Have a great night.